HarperVia and HarperAudio present Waterline, a novel by Aram Mrjoian, performed by Vikas Adam. For my family. In a flash, Stefan grasped the fact that no deed is done once and for all, that we always have to begin again at the beginning. Franz Werfel, The 40 Days of Musa Dag. Gregor Mrjoian, 1994. After winning the morning's egg fight, as he did every spring, Gregor Mrjoian allowed an orderly to push his uncomfortable wheelchair to the edge of the brick patio, which overlooked the nursing home lawn, where his 2 great-granddaughters were patiently waiting, soon nestled in the short grass at his feet, facing him. He had promised them a story. They wore their bright Easter dresses, Mari in custard yellow and Ani in highlighter pink, ready to hear about Gregor's adolescence, details that he had assumed he would never live long enough to tell them. It was the story everyone in his family had heard time and time again. His grandsons could recite most of the details by heart. "Did you know I was born on a mountain by the sea?" he asked. The girl's eyes went wide with wonder. "Papa!" Caro, his eldest grandson, shouted from where he stood in listening distance, arguing about sports or politics or any frivolous matter with Edgar. In these moments, on the rare holiday visits from his entire family, Gregor realized how much he missed his wife and son. He never expected to outlive them. His grandsons were too busy these days to find much time for a relic like him. He had lived through so many things, only to be left bored and lonely in his final years. Caro continued, "They are too young to hear about that." Gregor waved them off. His grandson's parenting was so different from his own. Always hovering. They were too touchy about what children could handle, and on this occasion, Gregor was well rehearsed. It was the perfect opportunity. Every few months, another graduate student would drive from Ann Arbor or Detroit or East Lansing to the old folks' homes in Dearborn to hear the remembered horrors of the few remaining survivors. Not a week ago, some young woman pursuing her PhD in Armenian studies had shown up and spent an hour taking notes while he regaled her. There were so many excellent documentarians, but he was convinced no one truly listened. If anyone paid attention, the world would look different. "There is a lot to this story," Gregor said, wagging a finger at his great-granddaughters. "You must be patient and listen closely." Mari nodded at him. Even though she was barely 5 years old, Gregor was certain she was destined to be the brightest of them all. Ani, wanting to impress her older cousin, sat quietly even though she would rather be running around with the other children. Gregor calmed his breathing until he was certain he had their undivided attention. Gregor was the best marksman in his village. His father taught him to fire a rifle when he was 8 years old. By his 12th birthday, his father boasted that Gregor could pit an apricot resting atop a fence post at 30 paces. It was something of a local legend, and it was good for business, as Gregor's father sold furs. The boy with eyes like binoculars. A behemoth, a head taller than any of his elders. He was lanky in his early years, but as Gregor reached adolescence, he built brawn from mornings out hunting, days of hard labor around his family's farm, and evenings showing off his strength playing games with other boys on the steep, uneven terrain. Gregor, the firstborn son, the pride and joy of the Mrjoian family. He never complained when his father worked him an extra hour before supper. He was never bothered by the simplicity of his provincial upbringing. And for years,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?